Hi everyone, this is Tammy, owner of Worthyworthitpriceless, and today's podcast is titled Before You Can React. Now, I've been stating, if you've been following the podcast, that I had to go to a couple of schools to look at schools, basically for my daughter Yavea, who is 2 years old. She's in the process, or we're in the process, of getting her into a preschool. So, this particular morning, now, let me just backtrack just a second. Where I live in Niagara Falls, we basically have alternative parking. Alternative parking is you have to park on the opposite side depending on the day. So, if it's an even day, you park on the odd side. If it's an odd day, you park on the even side. So, I know, like, if I have an appointment with Yavea or I have to get up super early for work, I try to make sure that I'm the first car, because where I stay at, my neighbors usually park right up on you like we're in some sort of huddle or something, and you can barely get out of, the parking space. So that's why I used to try to park, especially in the front, because I'm usually like the first one out of the house and all that good stuff. So just to give you like a little background story or whatever. So I was parked in the front. This was like on a Friday. So I made sure, there's no other cars in front of me or whatever, because like I said, I had to go look for a school for Vea. But when I went to go take out the garbage, there was a car in front of my car, and they were so close to my car. I'm like, wait a minute now. Now I parked specifically in the front so this would not happen. But this car made sure, and they backed up so close to my car, and I'm like, oh my God. And then the car behind me barely gave me any space. So I was like, you know what? There's nothing that I can do about it. But you better believe when I got in the house, I'm like, oh my God. Like, why did you park that close to me? You did not have to park that close and anything. So I was like, you know what? Let me just, have to figure something out. And, I just made sure, I hurried up, got Yavea. So I was like, just prepare myself to see. It's like, oh God, please do not let me hit nobody's car, right? So anyway, but God had another plan. By the time I got outside, the lady was already at her car. And by the time before I could even make it to the car, she had already drove off. So something that I thought was going to be an issue was a non-factor. This has occurred 2 other times, and I'm going to tell you those two. When I believe it was that same day. So I am coming back from seeing the schools with Vea, and there's a car in front of me going slow. The car is going like 30 miles an hour in 50 miles, 50 lane, 50, whatever. So they're going slow. And I'm like, oh my God, like, why are they going so slow? And then, the cars behind you, they start like really getting up on you. So I'm like, oh my God, like, will everybody just move or whatever? Before I could even adjust myself or even say the words or say something, next thing I know, God moved the car in front of me and the car in front of that car out of the way. And then I had a whole clear pathway. So before I could even say anything, God had already taken care of the situation. So yesterday, also, I was at the store with my mom and Yavea. And we were basically getting WIC. Sometimes in a lot of stores, it is a pain in the butt to get WIC, because a lot of times the cashiers don't know anything, and then the people get impatient. And I know, like, that's nobody's, my daughter needs milk. I don't really care. But you know what I mean? It's just the whole point. So just to give you like a little bit of background on that. But anyway, so we are about to get into the line. And there's self-checkout, but because I have WIC, I can't go through self-checkout. And there's only one lane open. The lane that is open there is 2 ladies in the lane, and they have cart full of stuff. Like, it looks like it's about $100-$200 worth of food in their carts. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, so then I'm seeing this on my way coming up. So I was like, once again, I was like, well, I can't leave this stuff here or this, that, and the third. And, I have to get her Wix or whatever. So I'm starting to prepare myself like, well, we're going to be here for a minute. Before I could even do anything, there was a manager. She came up and she actually asked the ladies, because they were the next ones in line, and was like, oh, well, I'm open over here. They looked at me. It's like, no, she can go, our lane is almost filled. And I'm like, wait a minute now. Wait, what you doing, Jesus? You know what I mean? So anyway, I went into, and I was the first one in line once again. I don't know what God is doing. But if you see, for the most part, other than the lady, moving the car, but if you pick her and the car, that's 2. But God is moving things out of the way before I could even react, before I could even say anything, or before I could even get my mind adjusted to the change, or basically being able to wait. God has already moved the situations out of my life before I could even react. And even though these are minor things, these are simple situations or whatever, but they are somewhat inconveniencing for the most part. So I'm telling you the same thing. Even though these are like minor for my life, it could be major for your life. So just how God moved simple situations out of my life, he'll do the same thing for you. Before you could even react to a situation, God has already moved it out the way. Before you could even pray about it, he has already moved it out the way. So don't stress about it. Don't worry about it. God has it all under control. He knows how he's going to bring you out. He knows how it's going to work out in your favor. Just trust him and believe him, and everything will work out. So until next time, have a worthy, worth it, and priceless life. And bye.